The envelope arrived on a Tuesday morning in November, 78 years after Private James Sullivan disappeared into the Belgian forest. His granddaughter, Emma Chun, held it with trembling hands, the official military seal still intact after all these decades. Her grandmother had died waiting for answers, and her mother had given up hope long ago. But Emma had never stopped searching. Before we continue, I want to know where you're watching this from. Drop your location in the comments because this story connects us all, no matter where we are in the world. Now let me tell you what happened next. Inside was a single photograph and a letter that began with the words she had dreamed of hearing. "We found him." The military investigators explained that a recent construction project near Bastogne had unearthed a collapsed bunker, hidden beneath layers of earth and time. Inside, they found not just James Sullivan's remains, but something that would rewrite everything his family thought they knew about his final days. James had been reported missing during the Battle of the Bulge, presumed killed in action like so many others. His platoon said he'd gone on a routine patrol and never returned. The military had searched, but in the chaos of war, one missing soldier became just another name on an endless list. His young wife, Rose, had worn black for the rest of her life. Their daughter growing up with only stories of a father who existed in photographs and faded memories. But the investigators found letters in that bunker, dozens of them, written in James's familiar handwriting. They were addressed to Rose, each one dated, each one never sent. Emma read them through tears, her grandfather's voice speaking across the decades. The truth emerged slowly, pieced together from those letters and the physical evidence surrounding his body. James hadn't died in combat. He had found 3 German soldiers in that bunker, teenagers really wounded and freezing. One couldn't have been older than 16. They were deserters, boys who had refused to fight anymore, hiding and hoping to survive until the war ended. James could have reported them, could have taken them prisoner, could have walked away. Instead, he made a choice that defined the man Emma had never known but had always loved through the stories. And what he did next will absolutely break your heart. He stayed. The letters chronicled those final weeks. He wrote about sharing his rations with the young Germans, about tending their wounds with his limited medical supplies. He wrote about teaching them English words and learning German ones in return. He wrote about a Christmas Eve spent singing Silent Night in 2 languages. 5 young men far from home, enemies who had become something else entirely. He wrote about the artillery shell that collapsed the bunker entrance, about their failed attempts to dig out, about how he kept their spirits up even as hope faded. His final letter, dated January 5th, was unfinished. "Tell Rose I chose this. Tell her that mercy is never wasted, even when it costs everything." The investigators found 4 other sets of remains in that bunker, arranged in a circle as if they had died holding onto each other for warmth. Emma stood at the military funeral with her mother, watching the honor guard fold the flag. They had offered a full ceremony with all the recognition James deserved. But what moved Emma most was the other funeral happening simultaneously in Germany, where 3 families had also received answers after 78 years of silence. The German families had sent letters, words of gratitude and sorrow that transcended old battle lines. One mother wrote, "Your grandfather gave my father his last days of humanity in a war that had stolen it from everyone." As the rifle salute echoed across Arlington Cemetery, Emma thought about her grandmother Rose, who had told her once that James had the kindest heart she'd ever known. "He'd give you his last piece of bread without thinking twice," she'd said. Rose had known him well. The military investigators had called it a mystery solved. But Emma understood it was something more. It was proof that even in humanity's darkest hour, in the frozen hell of war, one man had chosen compassion over duty, mercy over victory, and in doing so, had given 5 families peace they never thought they'd find. Some mysteries, when finally exposed, don't just answer questions. They restore faith in what we can be. If this story touched your heart the way it touched mine, please hit that subscribe button. Share this with someone who needs to hear it today. Because stories like these remind us that kindness never dies, it echoes through generations. I'll see you in the next one.